So I wanted to take a while to properly get my hands dirty in Season 8 before doing a review on this update. I don't normally do reviews on season updates, but considering this was a big one, I thought it was needed. Oh, I usually say something funny here. Why did the chicken cross... So it goes without saying that Season 8 has been a huge success with the community. Even those who don't normally engage in PvP have been giving it a shot. But the great thing about it is, it's entirely optional. So if you don't want to melt your face by engaging in PvP battles over and over again, you simply don't have to. But those who do have, for the majority, had a great time. Myself included. However, the first couple of weeks of Season 8 was, to be honest, a complete PvP nightmare for two reasons: resources and blunderbombs. Blunderbombs have always been a problem since their initial release. Being thrown by a player has never really been a huge headache, but being fired from a cannon, they've always been completely overpowered, knocking people off repairs or cannons no matter where they are fired onto the ship. They were essentially like having 120 cursed cannonballs on board, completely taking control away from the enemy player. Thankfully though, this issue has now been resolved, with significantly reduced knockback and damage when fired from cannons, resulting in blunderbombs when being fired from a cannon being used for their intended purpose, knocking an enemy ship away from a broadside. And not just an easy win. The speed at which these updates came out were on point. The developers honestly outdid themselves with a speedy recovery of a potential brown stain on an otherwise awesome game mode. And they fixed the resources too. A little too much, but still, cannonballs for days. But I'm not here to talk about bugs. I'm here to talk about the game mode itself. Now, I will say this much: the content in Season 8 is nothing like Sea of Thieves. For me, the thrill of Sea of Thieves has always been the open ocean and the random organic nature of the game. Constantly diving every single gaming session is fun, but it's not Sea of Thieves. It's like playing a minigame, much like Arena was. That said though, the option to go look for a battle whenever you want is what makes it great. I have had moments in this game where I just thirst for a battle, and I can sail for 45 minutes finding no one, only to eventually find a tall tailor who has no intention of fighting. But now, with Season 8, a battle is only a dive away. And that is simply what makes this game mode awesome. Season 8 is literally the icing on the cake for Sea of Thieves. The game is at a point now where you can jump in and pretty much do what your heart desires. Making some cash in adventure, getting involved in a storyline with tall tales or other story-driven content, or diving for some battles. And this can all seamlessly take part in the main adventure mode. No need to queue up for a separate game mode, and it's far superior to Arena in every single way. The problem with Arena, and I mean no offense to the developers here, was the game mode itself. Although yes, it was a PvP mode, most of the battles consisted of one AFK ship, one open crew, a Sweatlord crew farming points with upper deck shots on that open crew, and one ship just handing in the chest with no PvP interaction whatsoever. There was not enough focus on the battle itself in Arena. But in Season 8, it's essentially crew versus crew. Or supposed to be. I'm looking at you, Alliance cowards.
Not pirates, but cowards!
And Season 8 has so much potential moving forwards too, with extra factions to represent, new cosmetics for curses, and perhaps new battle areas. I mean, maybe one day we'll actually get an ice zone. Can you imagine how salty everyone would be if the ice zone was a PvP battle area? But of course, there are some negatives. I think the most common bit of feedback I see is the fact that the road to 100 rep doesn't really give you much, apart from some figureheads. I think in updates to come, they should give people more of a reason to keep grinding. Maybe some partial skeleton curses like Wanda the Warsmith as you grade up Reapers, and perhaps a partial ghost curse, much like Jack Sparrow, as you level up Athena. To be honest, I think this is one of the biggest problems with the queue times. People are put off with the grind, with nothing special being unlocked until level 100. It does put a lot of people off, especially for those unseasoned PvPers who just keep sinking. But hey, do you want to know the secret to PvP? You'll suck a lot, and eventually you won't. But you won't ever stop sucking if you don't keep at it. But still, More emphasis on unlocks throughout the grind would help alleviate this. All in all, Season 8 has literally been one of the best updates Sea of Thieves has ever had. It gives the PvPers something to do, alleviates the stress in adventure mode, and finally gives the player base the curses they have all wanted. With so much potential for future updates with new factions, new battle areas, maybe even new ships, I can see this getting better and better, as long as they keep putting in the content to keep people playing. That about wraps it up today, guys. Just quickly, in this Christmas period, I just want to mention the wonderful people over at Apex Gaming PCs. If you're thinking about making a journey to PC gaming or just need an upgrade to your current rig, then Apex Gaming PCs have your back. Choose from a bespoke range of Sea of Thieves PCs or custom build one yourself and they'll send it out to you. Use code Falcore at checkout for savings. And until next time, everyone, I hope you all have a Merry Christmas and a very drunken New Year.